The Sri Lankan president, Sirisena, who I know that has been, some of his moves have been praised by the Secretary General, has decided to reinstitute something called the Sri Lankan Press Council that has the power to put journalists in jail for their reporting, clear, only for speech or writing. And I wanted to know, since groups like CPJ are condemning this, does the Secretary General have any view of that?
We'll take a look. Obviously, the Secretary General would urge any country to ensure that laws are there to support press freedom and not impede them. But I'll take a look at the specific case.
Possibly on that same front, it's just a factual question. Yesterday there was a consultation, closed-door consultation about South Sudan. And afterwards, Mr. Ladsous didn't speak at the stakeout, declined questions on the stairway. But afterwards, there were at least two stories saying that he told a small group of reporters that he was requesting an arms embargo on the government or all sides in South Sudan. I wanted to know, one, is that the UN position? Two, where and how did Undersecretary General Ladsous, he's a public official, is this really his position? Why didn't he go to the stakeout or say it in some more public forum?
Yes, he is indeed a public official. UN officials give interviews left, right, and center.
Was this filmed? Is there a transcript? Is there some way for other people who cover South Sudan to know what he said?
Matthew, I understand. Sorry. There's no, we don't provide transcript of interviews that journalists do. We don't provide transcript of interviews the Secretary General does with individual journalists or group of journalists. What I can tell you that obviously the issue of, I think we've seen in South Sudan the toll that it's taken on civilians since this started more than a year ago, and that if the flow of weapons and equipment is not stemmed, civilians will continue to die in large numbers. I think the Secretary General, the UN, feels that it's time to end the supply of weapons and military equipment to all parties on the conflict. Now, obviously, the decision of an embargo is up to the Secretary General, but it is clearly our position that we feel that continued flow of weapons to all members should stop.
But I guess my question is, since the two predecessors at DPKO used to do these kind of announcements at a stakeout, that's what I guess I'm complaining.
Listen,
there are many publications here that cover the issue.
I think there are different modes of communicating. Mr. Ladsous has done numerous stakeouts.
When was the last one?
You can check, but he often does stakeout, or other senior DPKO officials do stakeout. I think senior UN officials are all free to use different methods to communicate, and we're also available daily here to answer those questions.
One final question: Has the panel on the Central African Republic sexual abuse issues spoken to Mr. Ladsous yet? And can you describe the status of the panel's work?
No, the panel will begin its work very shortly. Who they will speak to, when they will speak to, I don't know. I don't want to know. It's up to them to do their work independently, and it will be then they will then make report back to the Secretary General. The Secretary General has clearly said that report will be made public, and we can see who they've spoken to. Thank you.